This water tower in the shore town of Brielle, New Jersey, welcomed both residents and visitors for decades, until one day the aging tank failed dramatically, leaving the town to rely exclusively on its one other elevated tank. Local government officials knew it was imperative to design and build a new water tower, which would serve the town with improved water pressure and provide water for firefighting. With the stakes for safety high, the town of Brielle called on the Kiely family of companies to construct this critically important infrastructure project. Kiely responded, partnering with Chicago Bridge and Iron to deliver a new, updated 300,000-gallon water tower, some 140 feet tall, on time, on budget, and on expectation.
The process of building a water tower is part art and part science. There's a lot of expertise that goes into this, much like an artist painting a picture.
David Applegate, the Senior Vice President of Water Resources for the Kiely family of companies, brings vast experience with designing and building water resources projects of all sizes, including water towers, to customers of Kiely. Among the unique challenges Kiely's team faced during this project, squeezing heavy equipment up a narrow driveway and safely positioning cranes and moving large pieces of steel, weighing thousands of pounds each on an extremely small, precariously sloped site.
All of this process was a logistical ballet dance. We had to have cranes and stage steel in place to make sure that we could pick, grab, and bring up into proper position each piece of steel.
Connected to the structure's foundation is the bell, comprised of 4 sub-assemblies, each with 3 plates. Next, the pedestal was built, made up of 3 cylinders. Then the knuckle. The dry riser was added, which will allow workers to walk through the tank when it's full of water. Then the derrick crane, utilized in conjunction with a 4-drum hoist to construct the reservoir. The lower bowl, whose widest diameter is more than 46 feet, was pieced together with 5 sub-assemblies, each weighing more than 7,500 pounds. Then, with great finesse, the 6 sub-assemblies of the upper bowl were gingerly placed in just the right spot for the waiting crew.
The welders would get those pieces of steel chalked into place and weld it both on the inside and outside, and then grind down those welds afterwards. Everything was very fluid. It was a well-organized, well-oiled machine where there was a lot of moving parts, and it was all about communication and logistics, having a Gantt chart set up that was always kept up to date and changed based on conditions.
While building the structure provided its own set of challenges for the Kiely team, scheduling and constructing around the quickly changing and challenging weather conditions were factors that also needed to be considered throughout the duration of the project.
Before the worst of the winter weather was set in, we had this tank completely buttoned up. And that was important because we needed all the steel to be welded and tested and in place so that as soon as spring hit, we needed to start painting and having the tank primed and the intermediate and final coats put on. Everything went flawlessly, from picking and placing the steel to welding the steel to painting the tank.
Designed and built with safety and efficiency in mind, the new elevated tank holds enough water for a full day of residential use, plus 2 hours worth of water for firefighting, at a minimum of 1,500 gallons per minute. The tank also is able to communicate with Brielle's alternative water tank, creating a safer, more robust, and more flexible system for the borough.
It will bring redundancy. With something like water, it's important that you have redundancy. You have a backup system. We now have 2 relatively new water towers, so if one goes down, we'll get it fixed, of course, but in the meantime, we can rely on the other tower to supply water to the residents of Brielle. I think it looks great.
The project includes a lot of civil site work, namely landscaping, grading, pavement restoration, some storm drainage, some structural retaining walls. All this is included in the project scope, and as with all things Kiely, we leave a site better than we found it.
This monumental project, right in the heart of the Jersey Shore, will be a shining beacon of the dedication the Kiely family of companies brings to our communities for decades to come.
This tank is absolutely a showpiece for us. It's a beautiful tank, and every facet went just like clockwork.
See the difference partnering with the Kiely family of companies can make with your next project by contacting the experts at Kiely on KielyBuilds.com.